everybody, happy Memorial Day. This is Dusty with Iowa Craft Brews. We are going to be doing another cook on our RT680 grill. It's been a while since we checked in. We are going to do a brisket, a 14-pound brisket. It's about 3 p.m. on Sunday right now. As far as the seasoning goes, we just put some kosher salt and some 16 mesh ground pepper, just 50-50, mix that up, put it all over it. That's one of the simplest and best ways you can do it, and that's the way we're going to go. You can do all kinds of different rubs if you'd like, but we're just going to go plain and simple for this cook. We're going to set it at 225. It's a 14 and a quarter pound brisket, and we trimmed it already, lightened it up a little bit. So we're probably expecting maybe a 20-hour cook. So we're giving ourselves plenty of time, because when it's done, we'll be able to take that off, wrap it in foil, put some towels around it, put it in a cooler, and that should stay warm for quite a while. I mean, we could probably keep it in there 5-6 hours and it'll stay plenty warm. So we're going to err on the side of getting it on there early, so when we have family and friends come over tomorrow, it'll be ready to go. Whether we decide to serve it at lunch or supper, we'll probably do it later in the day, but that gives us some time to do it. What we're going to do is we set the grill at 225. We're gonna go plain and simple for this one. We're not gonna wrap it this time. Sometimes people who wrap, they do it because it does speed it through that stall a bit. We're gonna ride out that stall, wait for it to go through, and then hopefully we'll have a great looking brisket when we're done. I'll show you a quick shot of the brisket. We just put it on. Again, we have it set at 225, so let's just take a quick look. Alright, so there is our brisket right now. We got it on the grill. Sometimes the RT680 grills cook a little bit slightly hotter on the right side, so we have the point over on the right side. This over here is what you call the point. This is the flat. This is a thinner piece of meat over here. Not by a lot, but it is thinner, so we'll have that on the left side. We got our probe in the meatiest part. We'll close this grill up because we don't want to lose a lot of heat and a lot of smoke. Looking is not cooking. When you open up that cover, you're going to be letting out a lot of heat, a lot of smoke. So really you want to get that thing on there, get the probe put on, and just leave it closed for as long as you can. We'll probably let it run up to about 190 degrees before we use an instant read thermometer just to get another reading. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to keep that on there till it gets to be somewhere between 201 and 205 degrees. Hey guys, it's 11 a.m. on Memorial Day, which means that we have had this brisket on for close to 20 hours now. That's not atypical when you're looking at about a 12 to 14 pound brisket. You'll also notice that it'll stall at certain points, speed up again, but it's been a really good cook so far. It looks great. So let's, when we look at the wireless thermometer, let me show it. So let's take a look at our thermometer. This is the probe that we've had in throughout the cook. It's reading at about 199. Really, you should start checking the meat with a good instant read thermometer once you hit about 190. Periodically just checking it at various points of the brisket. Just because more than likely that's going to be your more accurate read, especially if you've calibrated it in either the boiling water test or the ice water test. So now that it's at 199, let's just take a look, see when we can take it off. Alright, so here's our brisket right now. If you look at that, it's got a really nice bark going on. Let's just go into the fatty part of the meat here and see what we're reading. So really, both of these thermometers are pretty accurate. They're both reading about 199. Let's just check out the point here. See, that's at 208. So that's getting a little bit high, but again, when you're looking at a brisket this size, you're going to have various parts of the meat that are bigger than others, so they're going to heat up a little bit more. You really want to just try and get it as close to that 201, 205 degree number. Let's just take a look at the flat here. See, now this is coming out a little lower. Now that could be because the right side of the RT680 grill usually seems to heat a little bit warmer because that's the side that the chimney is on. So you can always rotate it during the cook. We're going to keep it on here a little bit longer just to get get the middle up here, up to that about 203. Really, you want to feel it go in almost like you're sticking the probe into room temperature butter. That's a good sign that it's ready to take off. So we're going to let this sit for a little bit longer, and then we'll take it off. We'll wrap it in foil, wrap it in a towel, put it in a cooler, and let it sit for about 3 to 4 hours until our guests arrive, and then we'll start slicing. All right, so we got our brisket out of the cooler after it's been stored for about 3 hours just to rest for a little bit. While we're going to cut this up, just want to share wish I had a more full glass, but it's been a hot day today and enjoying this too much. But it's a Grass Fire IPA out of 5 Alarm Brewing in Lake Mills. These guys just opened up this year, and they're really doing some great beer up there. So if you get a chance to get to that area, give them a try. So let's take a look at the brisket. So when you cut a brisket, when you do the flat, you want to be cutting against the grain, which would be this way here. And then when you get to the point, we're going to cut this way because the grain switches direction. And when you get to the point where you cut through, you don't want it to fall apart when you hold it under its own weight here, but you do want it to be able to pull apart easily. If you look, that comes apart really nicely.